Hi, welcome back. This is now issues 25 and 26 of Build the Classic Routemaster. So, okay, in issue 25 here, we're going to be working on the crankcase. And further parts are fitted to the sides, and the two halves are joined together. So, without further ado, let's crack this open. Okay, so let's get this open. Lots of parts in this issue again. We've been getting a lot of parts in the last few issues, haven't we? There's like been loads to do. Whoa, okay, so just cut this open carefully. And as you can see, we got loads of parts there. Okay, so in this issue we've got 25A, which is the oil sump, which is this. It's made of metal. Nice detail on there. Okay, we've got 25B, which is the left crankcase, which is this part here. We've got 25C, which is the right crankcase, which is this part here. Again, some nice detail on there, and I am going to assume that these are going to fit together like so at some point. 25D is the injection pump, which is this part here, and it's made of plastic. And again, you've got some nice details on there. Okay, we've got 25E, which is the fuel pipe, which is this really small part here. "25F", which is the fuel filter. If I can find it. Well, it looks to be this part here. Okay. We've got 25G, which is a cap, which is this part here. And that is tiny, isn't it? 25H, which is the steering fluid reservoir. Okay, so that's this part here. It's got lots of little parts in there, holes and all sorts. That's going to be quite intense. We've got 25I, which is a power steering pipe, which is this black pipe here, and it's got like a locating peg on the end there. Okay. 25J, which is a cap, and that looks to be this part here. Okay. Oh, actually, to move these up, I'm running out of room. I like to put them in order. If I put them in order, then I know where we're at. so that was the cap. Okay, we've got 25k, which is the steering fluid indicator, which is this part hiding under here. Again, this is a really small piece of plastic there with two locating pegs. Okay, then we've got 25L, which is the flywheel drive, which is this grey part here. It's plastic and it's got like teeth round it. 25M, which is the flywheel, which is this piece here. 25N, flywheel cover, which is that part there. 25O is a shaft, which is this part here. It's a funny name. I always thought a shaft was like a long thing. 25P is an exhaust manifold, which is this beautiful part here. This is plastic, but again it's very detailed. You've got locating pins on 3 of those, but not on that one there. Okay, and then we've got 25Q, which is a flange. So we've got a flange. Okay, that's that part there. And then we've also got some DP screws. Which I shall remove and put in the holder here. And then we've got some FM screws here as well. Okay, so this is going to be intense as well, so let's get started on this. I've got a crumpled magazine through the post. So okay, so step 1 is to fit the flange 25Q to the end of the exhaust manifold. This is a push fit connection. Okay, so here we go. We've got a hole in the end of the manifold. Then now there's only one hole on one side. The other side is blanked off. And I'm guessing my hole is slightly misshapen, but this will only go in. I mean, it's got more like a semicircle shape to that, which doesn't really match that, but it will only go in one way. So I'm going to go with that. So that's just going to push into there like so. And that is that part. So that was step 1. So now we've got that together, we can move on. So step 2, fit the fuel filter 25F to the left crankcase 25B. The arm on the filter goes into the raised socket on the crankcase. Fix in place with a DP screw. Okay, so we're going to be working on this one. Okay, and as you can see, it's this hole here. Well, there's 2 raised holes, but we want this one just here. And we're going to take the fuel filter, and it's got a like there's a key, so that's going to fit in the correct way. So that's just going to pop in there like so. And then that'll look something like that. And then with a DP screw from the other side, we're going to secure that into place. So obviously I'll go in that hole just there. Okay, and then that'll look something like that. Okay, in a similar way, fit the steering fluid reservoir 25H to part 25B. Again, we're going to fix that in with a DP screw. So I'm going to get a DP screw ready, and again, we've got the same shape there, but that's going to go in this hole at the top there. Okay, so be careful because these could go in either way. And then we're going to put the DP screw through the back again. Okay. That's still slightly loose, so I'm going to give that a bit more of a turn. Okay, I'm happy with that. That is now secure. So we've got something that looks like that. So it does look slightly bent, but that is in tight. And it seems to be flush. Okie doke. Next we're going to fit the cap 25J onto the top of the steering fluid reservoir. It's a push fit connection. And then we're also going to fit the steering fluid indicator to the side of the reservoir. Again, this is a push fit connection. So let's see how these fit. So I'm going to put the cap on the top of here. Okay. There we go. So that'll fit on there like so. And then we're going to fit the steering indicator through those two holes at the top there. And it's going to fit diagonal. And looking at it, I'm not sure if it's directional, but it wants to fit better one way rather than the other. Okay, and that is a really loose fit. So what I'm actually going to glue this into place. So all I'm going to do is grab a cocktail stick, put it in the glue, and just drop a bit round each of those pegs. And then push that into place, and then that should glue that in nicely. Okay, and then we've got that. Okay, the next step it wants us to do is fit the power steering pipe 25i into the socket at the base of the part. This is a part 25H. This is a push fit connection. It may be advisable to hold the pipe in place temporarily with a little masking tape. Now this I am not going to do right at this moment. Basically that locating peg there will fit into the bottom of this hole, and that will just sit. But the problem is it sticks out quite far. I know it's saying to keep it in place with some masking tape, but for this at the moment I have seen so many of these that have actually snapped, and I think it's going to be unavoidable, so I'm going to leave this out for the moment, but it will go into that hole just there. So when we've got this in place and we know where this end's going to fit to, I will then come back and fit that. Okay, so Next thing we're going to do is take the injection pump 25D, which is this part here, and we're going to test fit it to the left crankcase. Check that you've got it in the correct orientation. So obviously this could fit this could fit either way, but that is the wrong way. Okay, you want these like pipes here facing upwards, and then they're going to go into those two holes just here. So that's just going to fit into place like so, and it's actually going to look like that when it's done. Okay. So what we're going to do is, when you've got it in the correct position, fix it with 2 DP screws. Okay, so we're going to do that first. So take some DP screws and then just pop them from behind. That's one. Again, don't over tighten them because you're obviously going through into plastic. That'll do. And that is now secure into place. Okay, the next thing it wants us to do is fit the cap into the top of the fuel filter. Okay, so that's this part here, this small cap, and if you look closely, you've got a cutout on the top of that filter. You might just see at the back there, and then on the cap itself you've got like the key there. See, that will fit in, so we can get this the right orientation. Okay, so that is a very tight fit. I just need to twist that slightly, if I can, because that's not quite lining up. No, okay. Take that back out. This is a really tight fit, so you've got to really get it dead straight before you push on it, which is quite difficult. Okay, so I'm actually going to remove that again, because I think it'll be easier to do this with that not attached, see? Because then you can see where it's going to line up. See, I've just missed the hole again. Okay, so that has now just about gone in. What I'm going to try, might not work. I 3D printed this G clamp. I'm wondering if I could carefully just clamp that down, then that would give me some aid to push that in a bit further. No, that didn't work. I don't want to use pliers because obviously it's metal on plastic, but that definitely does need to just go in a little bit more. I'm not happy with that. It just needs to go in one more little push. Okay. Yeah, that's gone in now. I just gave it a really hard push. I've dented my thumb, but that seems to be further down, see. Okay, so now I've done that, I can screw this back in. And I think actually I was told it'd be better to put that cap on before screwing that in, and I forgot. So yeah, definitely recommend putting that cap on before screwing that into place. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to grab the fuel line, the fuel pipe, and test fit it to the left crankshaft assembly. The joint at one end of the fuel pipe is larger than the other. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that this can only go in one way. I mean, yeah, there is a massive difference. You've got a large part one side that's actually a key. You can just see there the keyway on the side, and this side is small. So obviously the key is going to fit into the bottom here. And then the other end, as you can see, will marry up and go into the front of the fuel filter just there. But again, I'm not going to fit this part just yet, because I think it's going to be easier when we come to putting these in. I think there's some pipes coming and they're quite awkward to get in here. So if we put this here, there is a risk of damaging this part trying to get the pipes in. So again, I'm going to leave that to one side and we'll come back to it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take the three flywheel pieces. So we've got 25L, M and N. Sorry, my focus is out. Yeah, LN and M. And we're going to pop them all together. Check the orientation. When you have them aligned as shown, push the three pieces together so the screw sockets fit. Through the corresponding holes in the parts, and then take shaft 25O, fit through the centre as shown. Use a DP screw to fix the shaft 25O in place, and then basically screw the rest together with DP screws. So we're going to need these three parts. So you want this part there with you've got obviously raised parts, that's going to be inside, so you want it this way. Then you want this way, so the hole is away. Okay, and they'll just sort of fit in there together like so and lock in. So you've got that side, and then you've got the hole that side, and then obviously this part here we're going to put the pins through so they line up with the holes like so. You can just about see that. Next we're going to pop this part through the shaft. That's going to go through the centre. Oh, it's all popping apart. Okay, so we're going going to pop the shaft through the centre, and then we're going to secure that in through this side with a DP screw. Like so. And I don't think it's going to matter where that goes. Obviously it's wanted to sort of go off at an angle. You could sort of untighten that, line it up straight if you wanted to, hold that in place and then just snip that up again. That is up to you. I don't think it's going to matter when we come to fit this later on. Okay, and then we're going to use the two DP screws to secure through those two holes there. So that's one in. Lovely, and that is that all together now. And then we should have something that looks like that. Right, it says check that the flywheel rotates on part 25O. If it's stiff, loosen the DP screw. Okay, so you just want to make sure this part can rotate. I'm not sure why, because I don't think this is going to be a moving part later on. So that is a big question that me and Paint and Penny were actually asking when we were doing the live build on this part for her. So yeah, interesting to know. So we're going to take the oil sump, which is this part here, and you'll see there's a gap there. That is where that is going to fit into, like so. And then we're just going to secure that with a, what we're using, an FM screw this time. So I'm going to use a little bit of oil on there. Hold that in place, and then we'll just get the FM screw through there. There we go. That's in place, but it does turn. Slightly skew-ish, but that's fine. And there we are, and that does rotate. Okay, so after we've done that, we're going to then align the tabs on the right crankcase. So that's this part here, and we've got these tabs at the bottom here. In the centre of the oil sump. When they're correctly positioned, fix in place with two FM screws. So you want it in this direction, and then we're going to pop that on like that. So that's going to be flush on the outside edge, and then we're going to fix them in with FM screws. Again, I'm going to use some oil. Start that one off, and then the other. And then we'll just tighten those up. And that is solid, that's not moving anywhere. Okay. and I'm happy with that. I think that's in tight. There's no movement yet, so that's all good. Okay, so that is the finished view for this part. And that was actually it for this issue. So we've got left with this part here, and obviously this part here. Not forgetting that obviously I haven't attached this yet. That will obviously go into there later on. Loosely fit it there. That'll fit on there somewhere like that. But until we've done what we're doing behind here, I'm not going to put that on, and you'll understand why. So if you haven't built this yet and you are following me, you will understand why I haven't put that in when we get to that stage. And then obviously this black power steering pipe should go in that hole there. But again, I haven't done that because it's so fragile. I don't want that flapping around while I'm trying to build. So I'm going to leave them somewhere safe, and then we'll pick them up later on. Okay, so that's that, and then obviously not forgetting we've obviously got the manifold which we built as well. So these three parts complete this issue. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down and grab issue 26, and then we can get started on that one. So I'm just going to put these screws away. So we've got an FM there, and we've got a couple of DPs left. So I've got quite a collection building up now of screws. I mean, obviously where they always send us spares and stuff, but it's good to have. Okie doke. So issue 26, I'll grab this out of the packet. And I'm going to leave these parts to hand because I think we may be using them for this issue also. But again, there's a lot of parts in here that we're going to be building. Lots of small parts. So, we'll open this up. Carefully, oh god, carefully get everything out. Oh god, there is minute pieces in here, let me tell you. So I'm going to get the tweezers out. I'm going to put these away first, because obviously I don't want these getting lost. These are actually parts 26C, okay? And it's an AEC logo. I don't want to get that focus any better. There we go. AEC, and then on the back it's got some, if I can turn it around, like some double-sided sticky, so that's going to be a right pain. So I'm going to put them in my screw pot for now. So we don't lose those. Wow. There is literally parts everywhere. Parts stuck in there as well. So check all your insides to make sure there's nothing caught anywhere. Whoa, okay, so 26A and 26B are cylinder heads, which are these here. These will be directional when we come to it. This is 26A, this one here. And the reason I know that is because if you look closely, you've got a hole just here. That's 26A, so I'm going to put that there. And then on the other one, 26B, that hole is actually on the middle there, so that's how you can identify that you've got the right A and B. Okay. Obviously 26C we've already been through, which are those AEC logos. We've got 26D, which is the fan. Okay, so that's this plastic fan here. 26E and F. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Ah, there we go. No, that's fine. So this is 26E. Okay, because it's got a wider sort of part there. And this is 26F because it's more narrow. If that makes sense. So that's 26E and F. So obviously they're pulley parts. We've got 26G, which is a fan mounting axle. Okay, so it's this part here, which is what basically we had in the last issue when we connected the flywheel to the side of the engine. Okay. Okay, put that aside. 26H, we've got a belt. So we've got another belt. 26I is a starter motor along with 26J, and they are these parts here. Yep. So this is 26I because it's got this locating pin on here and this tab, and this is 26J. Okay, and I assume that will connect together at some point, forming the alternator. Okay, 26K is saying is the alternator, which is this part here. So basically all these three parts will make up the alternator. 26L is the alternator cover, and that is this part here. That is the alternator cover. 26M is the alternator front. Okay, so that's that part there with the detail on. That's the front of the alternator. 26N and O are pulley parts. Now this is N, and the reason I know that is because it's got a smaller the diameter of the hole in the middle is smaller on that one, and then on O it's wider. Okay, so that's how we know what part is for what there. Whoa, it's okay. 26P is the alternator cradle, which is this part here. $26Q is the oil filler neck. Okay, that's that part there. $26R is the oil filler cover, which is this part here. We've got 26S, which is the front housing, and that is this part here, and this is made of metal. Okay, we've got the three holes there, and then we've got these two pins that stick out there. So that is the front housing. We've got 26T, which is this part here, which is a connector. Okay, and that's got two locating pins on the rear. We've got 26U, which is the back plate, which is this part here. 26V, which is a stub pipe, which is there, and that's got a hole in each end, except that one's got a slight cutout, so I think there's going to be like a key that will go into that. Okay, and that is it for the parts. Wow. Okay, and then we've got a load of screws. We've got DP screws, CM screws, FM screws, and BP screws. So I'm going to get the DP in. and the CM, because there's more of those. And I'll also get FMs out because we've got quite a few of those as well. There's only three BP screws, so I'm going to put the FMs in with the logos. Okie doke, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take the alternator 26K, which is this part here, and then fit the front to the closed end so the raised screw socket circled fits in the hole. Okay, so right, put that down. We need this part, which is the alternator, and then we need 26M, which is the front, which is this part here with the pattern on. And that is going to fit on the closed end of the alternator, like so. And then we're going to use a DP screw from the inside to secure that on. Like so. And then we're going to push fit the alternator cover 26L to the open end, and this is just a push fit connection. And on this you've got a couple of, let me try and work this out. I see, right. So you've got a keyway just there. There is another bit there, but that will fit over. There's a raised part inside there, you can just see. So that will all fit into place, and that just gets push fitted together. And then that looks like that. Okay. Next we're going to take 26O and N. Okay, so they're the really small parts we had. So 26O first, and if you remember, that's the one with a wider hole through the middle. That is going to fit onto the alternator like so, and the raised part is going to go towards the front there. Okay, so that the smooth part is facing towards you. And then we're then going to take 26N, and obviously again the smooth part towards you, and then when we've done that, it's going to leave us a belt, a pulley, so that looks a perfect size for a belt to fit through. And then we're going to use a DP screw to secure them into place. Like so. And that is slightly loose, so let me give that a bit more of a tighten. Okay, that's it. And then we have the alternator there. Okay, so the next job is to take the oil sump 25A, so what we worked on last time, which was this part here. And we're going to look on the back, and we're going to want these two holes here. And then there we're going to fit the alternator cradle too. Okay, and that is going to fit in very nicely. I mean, that's only going to go one way. You want it in like that, and that fits in beautifully. And then we're going to fix that in place with 2 cm screws. So we're going to get some oil set up. Oh, Alexa's talking about vegetable oil. I don't know if you heard that. Alexa started up saying vegetable oil and then told me facts about it. That's weird. Okay, so CM. And I do need to change the ends because it's a smaller screw. So that's one in. And then we'll just put the other one in. I still don't think that's the right head. I struggle with the CM screws because I never know what head's better for it. No, that one's better. Okay, that's all nice and tight. So that's the alternator cradle fitted there. Next, we're going to fit the alternator into the cradle. Obviously we've got the 2 holes there which are going to line up with the 2 holes on the cradle, and obviously the pulley is going to be facing outwards. Like so, and then you'll see those holes will line up. And once that's in place, we're going to use 2 DP screws. So I'm going to have to change my head again. Okay, so put one of those back. Yeah, so through the bottom. I've got one that's just bitten, and then I'll get the other one in so that keeps its position. Lovely. And then we'll just carefully tighten that up. Okay, you don't want to go too tight, just enough to keep that in, and that's perfect. Okay, and that's what we've got so far. Next, we want to take the 2 parts of the starter motor, 26I and J, check the fit, and then obviously when they're together, then we can secure them together with 2 DP screws. Now it's obvious which way this is going to go. It's not going to go any other way. Well, it could actually. You could put it that way, but I think anyone would see that it's not correct. So put the DPs through. There we go, and that is that now in place. And then we're then going to attach this to Okay, so on this part here, yeah, we've got the two holes just here. Now you've got a locating peg on there, so that is going to fit in the top hole. And then we're going to put a CM screw through the lower hole, just in there. So again, I'm going to change my screwdriver heads again, grab a CM, we'll oil it up. Fit that back into place. There we go. And notice that part in place, that's solid. Okay, so it's really taking shape now, isn't it? Okay, moving on. I'm going to change my head for this because we're going to need a DP screw for this next part. So I'll get the DP screw ready, set up. So we're going to be working on the fan and the mounting axle. So we're going to take 26G, which is obviously the axle, and fit the pulley parts 26F and E. Fit part 26F onto 26E. Oh god, how confusing. Okay, so he wants this part here, the one with the the larger area there. Okay, and then that's going to go on like so, just on top of that one. So that'll give you the channel. And then we're going to put 26G through the back to keep that all in place. We're then going to fit the fan on, which is only going to go one way. Obviously you've got the quite a large hole there. That's going to be facing, that's going to go inwards. Sorry, no, outwards. That's going to face outwards. So then it'll look like that. So all you want, that middle peg is going to fit nicely into the middle of that fan. Okay, and that's going to go on there like that. And once that's all together, we're going to hold this other side because it's going to spin, and then obviously we'll put a DP screw through all of that, like so. And we should have something that looks like that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So the next step it wants us to do is actually fit the belt over the pulley. So we're going to fit that over the pulley like so. And then we're going to fit the fan. It's going to go through this little cutout on the side here, and then just sit on there like that. Okay, and what we're going to use an FM screw for this, so I'm just going to pop that down. FM screw, use some oil, and then just secure that in. And that's nice and solid. There you go. And obviously you've got the belt just dangling in between there like so. And then obviously what we're going to do with the belt, we're going to pull the belt over, and it's going to go around this alternator as well. So I'm going to use my tweezers for this. grip that when you can get a grip of the make sure that's in the channel, grip the belt, which is easier said than done. Okay, so I'm going to hold the belt into its channel. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then we should have something that looks like that. There you go, that's the belt fitted. A little bit awkward, but I just use my tweezers just to fish that round. And then that's on there nicely now, like so. It's just amazing, isn't it? All these little details we've got going on. It's brilliant. Okay, now we're going to be fitting the screw socket tab on the oil filler cover. Between the eyelets on the oil filler neck. Right, okay, so basically we're going to be using 2 BP screws, so I'm going to get them out now because we only need 2 of these. We're going to be working on the oil filler cap, so we're just going to be placing the cap onto the actual filler neck, if you like. So you've got the 2 holes there, which is going to be the hinge, and then obviously we've got the actual cap itself, so that's just going to fit in there like so. And then we're going to fit it with 2 BP screws, 1 either side. Okay, so just line that up, hold that in place. We're going to put a BP screw in this side. And then another one in from the other side. Brilliant. And then that enables that to open up. So don't do it too tight that it doesn't open. That's just got enough tension, so that'll stay wherever you put it. Okay, so that's that part done. Okay, so we now need to grab this part that we were working on here, and we're going to fit the filler cap. And it's going to go just in this hole here. So that's going to go in and sort of sit like that in that groove. And then we're going to fit that in with a DP screw. So let me get that in now. Again, might be a little bit awkward to fit this, so I'm just going to get it started. There you go, that's started now. See, that screw's just gone in lovely there. And then we're just going to finish tightening that up. Just enough, there we go. And then that's what it looks like from the front. Brilliant. Okay. So once we've done that, we're then going to fit the stub pipe into the socket on the right crankcase. So we're going back to this one with the fan, and the pipe is going to go in this hole just up here, and the shorter is going to go in, and it's going to sort of go upwards like so. Okay, but there's no keyway on this, so you're going to have to hold it while you're trying to screw it in to make sure it's level. So just hold that in place, start the screw off, which is going to be this top hole just up here. And then I think the best thing to do is just hold that tight. Or straight, should I say. Tight and straight. Okay, and I'm happy with that. It's not moving freely, and then you should have something that looks like that, pointing straight upwards. Okay. Still more to go, still more to go. So, next thing we're going to do is take the back plate and the front housing and fit the parts together as shown. Fix in place with 2 cm screws. Okay, so here is the back plate. Okay, and the front housing. And that's only going to go in one way. You want the smooth side facing outwards, and we'll just pop that in like that. And then we're going to use 2 cm screws in the 2 bottom holes. So, obviously we're going into metal, so I've just applied a little bit of oil. That's one. And then the same for the other side. They do go in quite a long way. But they do tighten up. Okay, so that's that part done. Next thing we're going to do is pop it on, and it's going to go behind the fan onto the cover. So, as you look at this, you've got the fan there. Make sure the 2 cm screws you've just done are at the bottom. Okay, and then we're just going to slot that in. Okay, and it's supposed to fit in there nicely. Okay, so I've just remembered another tip. We're going to have to undo these 2 centre screws. Just a little bit. So this is loose. Then we can fit this in. Okay, and you see they line up, because the problem is if that's tight down, this screw here gets in the way from the bottom, and as you see it doesn't line up into the holes. I mean, I've just pushed that because it's loose, but if that's really tight, it won't fit. So if you loosen that like I've done, it'll allow them to go in, and then you can then screw them up, and then we'll re-tighten these down afterwards. Oh, it does actually say here, it may find it helpful to loosen the FM screws fitted in step 10 of, so it is pointing to them. It's saying you might find it helpful to loosen those anyway. I missed that part, but there you go. So you want 2 cm screws. and we're just going to screw this in. That's one in. It's actually really difficult to line everything up. Okay, that's caught now. Oh, okay, that was really tricky because they still weren't quite lining up, but a bit of persuasion. Okay, and obviously these CM screws do go in a long way. I've moved the stop pipe as well. Okay, so once that's tightened in, we can then go back and re-tighten up these. At the bottom there. Okay. So we should have something that looks like that. Brilliant. What we're going to do now is we're going to attach the left and right crankcases together and fix in place with 2 FM screws. So we want this part here that we've just done, and then obviously this part. We can now marry those together. And then fit one screw in there and obviously one into there, and they are going to be FM screws. It's really coming together, isn't it? There we go, look. Didn't take many turns at all for them. Okay, so there is what we've got so far. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so when we fitted all that, we're going to take the cylinder heads, 25A, and fit it over the race screw socket and peg at the bottom of the crankcase. So, if you remember, we decided that A was the one with this hole on the very corner. That is going to go on this side of the engine. Oh, okay, you've got a locating peg. Anyway. Okay. So you've got 2 pegs, but this locating peg in the bottom there will go into one of them. So that'll fit on there like that, and it should leave the screw exposed just up there. The screw hole. And then we obviously want to do the second one as well, in the same way. Okay, so once they're both fitted, we're going to then secure them in from the top with FM screws. So I'll just start that one off. There we go, like so. And 2. Okay. Okay, what we're then going to do is we're going to fit the 2 pegs on the connector 26T onto the corresponding sockets. Push fit connection. Okay, so it does say not to over tighten these top screws. So I'm going to loosen them off again until we've put this part into place. Okay, it's difficult to tell really, but according to the magazine, this goes in, it doesn't say, but this side looks a bit like that, and this side looks like that, and it's got a very small cutout on the top. See that? That cutout is going to face upwards. And it's going to go into these 2 holes in the middle here. So we're going to push fit that together, push fit that into there, like so, and then we can then tighten up these 2 screws. Okay, and there we have. Okay, so once we've done that, this is going to be the fiddly part. We're going to need the tweezers and a microscope and whatever else. We're going to put in the AEC logos into the engine. So you want it this way round, and then we're going to put these AEC logos in the top. So we're going to carefully, with the tweezers, take the backing off. That was fairly straightforward. Then carefully with the tweezers, line that up so they're straight. I'm happy with that. And we're just going to pop them in the top. So that is one done. And then obviously the same with the other. So just use your tweezers to bring up the double-sided tape. Line it up. Probably easier to fit one corner in first, and then with a quick swift movement just whack that down, and there we go. I'm really happy with how that's turned out. So that was it for issue 25 and 26, and well, nearly an engine is born. That's really good. Quite intense, those 2 issues. Lots of parts, lots of screws. You got to be really vigilant as well, obviously on what you know what goes where. And as I say, don't forget that I haven't attached these other pipes yet. I'll be keeping them somewhere really safe, and then I'll be doing that later on down the line. It is telling us, well, it told us to do it in issue 25, but just imagine if that's on there like so. I mean, that go in. Look how high that's sticking out, and that's just it's just asking for trouble, isn't it? So I'm not going to fit them until later on. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. If you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. But until next week, take care, and I'll see you then.